Oi oi, hello and welcome to another GG.CO.UK trends video sponsored by Boyle Sports. We're sticking with the York Festival trends, but in this episode, we're solely looking at the Ebor, the most valuable flat handicap in Europe. The reason I say we're sticking with the York Festival is last Sunday a video was published holding on to some more races from the York Festival. There'll be a link in the description. I'll see if we can put something up on the screen as well to take you back to that video. 3 races are covered in there. Cheat sheets are written for those articles too. And speaking of cheat sheets, it's in the link for this description for this video, the Ebor trends, where I go into quite a bit of detail. I talk to you about pound level stakes and return on investments in there and maybe some trends to avoid too. But in this video, I'm going to try and keep it short and sweet. Up here, I'm going to list the key trends for the Ebor to help us find the winner. Those trends have been established this century and in the last decade. The race did change its complexion slightly from 2019, where 3-year-olds were excluded. I think that has had an impact on the type of horse that will win the race. Now it's going to push the official rating up because it's harder to achieve a higher figure earlier in your career. But there are a few other aspects that change too. So I'll run through the key trends, but I'll also run through the bonus trends since 2019 when 3-year-olds were excluded. As I say, link in the description if you want to read the full article. Big thanks to Boyle Sports, the sponsors. Big thanks to you guys for watching these videos. We really do appreciate your support. But let's crack on and find out if we can say what it is that you need to win the Ebor handicap. So the key trends kicking off, they will be aged 4 to 6 with a preference to those aged 6. Bonus, if you're drawn in stall 14 or higher. Should have an official rating of 100 or higher, but respect those rated 105 plus. Talked about this with the 3-year-olds being in there. It has always taken a pretty good horse to win the Ebor, but that benchmark does seem to be moving up in recent years. Last time out winners should be respected, but they can't be relied on. That's from a pound point level stake reality and the return on investment there. If you were just to follow all last time out winners, you're not going to make money. They can't completely be relied on. Not going to find you most of the winners, but they are still horses that you want to respect. It's not a negative if a horse has won last time out. In fact, it should be seen as a positive. Should have run at 14 furlongs in their career and 14 furlongs or further last time out. Some of these horses would have prepped on the flat. Some of these horses may be coming from the National Hunt Sphere. That distance applies to both racing codes. They probably are a horse who has less than 5 runs this season and no more than 1 win this season. Lightly raced flat horses still get the job done, despite the fact that 3-year-olds are excluded from this race now. Also, you want to look for horses who prepped in listed company or better last time out. We've had a couple of horses that have come from the same race that have won this race in recent years. Again, details are in the written article, but that wraps it up for the key trends. But I'm going to talk to you about these bonus trends since 2019 and the exclusion of 3-year-olds. Now, all winners were priced 10 to 1 or shorter, so right towards the front of the market there. There have been 2 winning favourites. The reason that is more relevant than anything is in a short space of time we've had 2 winning favourites. This century there have only been 3 in total. So while the 3-year-olds were still able to run from 2000 until 2018, only 1 winning favourite. But since then, 2 favourites have gone in. 3 winners were aged 6. So again, the age has changed a bit because there's no more 3-year-olds that can run, but 3 of the winners have been aged 6. 3 winners from the top 2 in the betting. I've already talked about them being 10 to 1 or shorter. I've already talked about 2 winning favourites. 3 winners from the top 2 in the betting. 2 favourites, 1 second favourite. 3 winners with an official rating of 108. Talked about the 100 plus rating and the 105 plus rating from the key trends. 3 winners had an official rating of exactly 108. 4 winners had not won at the trip. Now, whether this is a big turn in trend because of the 3-year-olds that had more opportunities to run at those, or it's a different type of horse that comes in, I'm not 100% sure on there, but it is a fact. 4 winners had not won at the trip before landing the Ebor, and 4 winners prepped in a listed race or better. That was obviously pulled up in the key trends. It's been relevant probably just a little bit before the 3-year-olds come in there in terms of the fact that this is a classy race, but especially since 2019, 4 winners prepped in listed races or better. So that wraps up the Ebor handicap Trends. I've put the link in the description for the written article. It's handy to see that there's a printout you can get to save on your phone, so you've got the top line trends that are in there. And like I said, there's a bit more depth of details in between it. On that link too, you can find my author profile on GG.CO.UK, find the other articles that are in there. And just for good measure, I'll put a link in there for the trends from the previous video, looking at the Nunthorpe races like that as well, the Juddmonte and the Irish Oaks I think were covered in there. So there'll be links to all those articles in the description. Plenty of action coming up at York, plenty of good racing, plenty of good opportunities hopefully, and fingers crossed these cheat sheets will help us whittle down the field and maybe, you never know, find us a couple of winners.